You're listening to Parasearch Radio with paranormal news, views and reviews from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web at Parasearch Radio. The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch UK Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the KTPF Reload Show. In case you're wondering what the Reload Show is about, if you haven't heard previous shows, these are the interviews that were conducted by good friends of mine, Steve and Sue Taggart, in the days of the KTPF radio show. Their own radio show ran for just over 4 years, broadcasting every week for over 3 hours. I joined them in the last 18 months of the show's run, but eventually the guys felt they'd just about had enough. It was a monumental effort to keep broadcasting every week for 3 hours. It was a wonderful show. But unfortunately they're no longer involved, and the shows have just sort of sat in the archives, so I thought it would be nice to bring them back to life and bring you the interviews that the guys conducted over those 4 years. They include some of the most interesting people within the world of the paranormal and some not so well known but still, nevertheless still very interesting. We even have 1 or 2 rather unusual shows, including a live seance and other things along those lines. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed tonight's show, and this is the KTPF Reload Show. Enjoy.
This program deals with themes of an adult nature and is intended for a mature audience. They've landed.
You're in the right place. Online, on the web, and on air. All over the world.
Talk radio.
You hear us, we hear you.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the KTPF Community Talk Show. My name is Suzanne.
And I'm Steve.
And we're here keeping the paranormal friendly each and every Sunday. So pull up a chair and relax with us while we bring you a show full of the supernatural, the paranormal, and other strange phenomena. And if you're wondering where Andy is, he went away for the weekend and he hasn't come back.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. So whether he'll turn up halfway through the show, I don't know, but we'll see what happens. So just to let you know what's happening tonight, we have the return of Derek Acorah. Derek Francis Johnson was born in Liverpool on the 27th of January 1950. He later changed his surname to what he stated was his grandmother's maiden name, Acorah. Derek is, without question, the #1 psychic in the UK, bridging the gap between the niche cult shows to mainstream talk shows which rely on personality and the ability to capture the imagination. So, has Andy been abducted by aliens? I'm not sure. He went to Glastonbury, so he could be abducted by somebody.
Yeah, the hippies have got him.
So, over the years, Derek's television appearances have made him one of Britain's most popular and best-known mediums, resulting in consistent sellout shows throughout the UK. And we'll be talking to Derek this evening. Oh, the man has arrived.
Would that be Andy, man?
Yeah, that was me hoping I was going to have a short show today. Good evening, Andy.
Oh, I'll go away then.
I did try ringing you.
Yes, no point. I kicked the machine on as soon as I got in the door, but because it takes about half an hour to set itself up these days, this old computer, the one I use for the show, so I wasn't quite there, but I'm here now.
Yeah. Did you have a nice day?
Yes, we had a nice, lovely week. Sit back and relax, listen to the show. I mean, no, I'll carry on with the show. I'll just be here listening.
That was me thinking, well, if you don't come back, we'll have a short show today, so... Brilliant.
We have got Starship.
And then I saw you come up on Skype, and I thought, oh, he's back. That blows all my plans out the window.
Well, we've been travelling, obviously, most of this afternoon, so I'm happy with the short show as well. So I'm quite tired now.
Yeah, Sue was going to say, hello, everybody. Hello, Derek. Goodbye. Good night.
Derek, talk for 20 minutes. See you later.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so it could be a short show tonight because we're not just to let you know, we are not talking about Most Haunted, okay? If you are interested in the Most Haunted years, then I suggest that you go to our YouTube page, okay, and look up Derek Acorah, which was actually recorded back in March 2013, where he tells everything, okay, or as much as he can at the time. But it was an interesting conversation. Let's hope I punched his number in right via Skype. I hate it when it's +4s. Oh, it's ringing, so that's good. He is there. I've already spoken to Gwen.
Oh, okay.
That's if I've put your number in.
Hello?
Hello, is that Derek?
Yes.
Oh, thank God for that.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Derek?
I'm good.
Good, good. And how's Gwen?
She's fine. She's lovely.
Has she had a lovely Mother's Day?
Yes, she's had a fabulous Mother's Day.
Oh,
we
brilliant.
went out last evening with our Janie, my daughter, my son-in-law, my grandson. The reason why we couldn't celebrate it today was because of the logistics and stuff that was going on in their lives. We had a fabulous evening, and yeah, it was gorgeous.
Brilliant. I'm glad about that. So it's nice to have you back on the show, Derek. We've missed you.
Yeah, it's really good.
Right. Now, just to let you know, since we last spoke back in 2013,
Yeah.
it's been that long,
Yes.
we now have listeners in America.
Have you?
Okay, yes. So can you start off by just recapping a little bit about yourself for our new listeners?
Can I do what, say?
Can you just recap for us a bit about yourself for our new listeners?
Yeah. Okay. You want to start saying, let me go through away from my dogs.
Okay.
Because they'll start barking the moment I get all excited talking about my work. Because that's what happens. Excuse me, Merlin. Merlin's got to get out the way. And Millie's got to get out the way.
I love it that you're so down to earth, Derek.
Pardon?
I love it that you're so down to earth.
Yeah, well, that's the way I am. That's the way God's made me. Right. I'm Derek Acorah. I work as a spiritual, clairvoyant, clairaudient medium in England. I'm very proud of what I do. I work for nearly 40 years for Spirit. I work not just for Spirit, but the people. When I work, it's a 50-50 thing. I want to see the happiness on people's faces when I can make a connection with their loved ones, whether it be a husband, a mum, a wife, a dad, a son, or anything else. It's that to let them know that their loved ones live on. That's why I work for the world of spirit.
Yeah.
And I will continue to work for them.
Right. Now, you just to recap a bit further back than that, you started picking up spirit at an early age. It was all down to your grandmother, wasn't it?
Absolutely. My grandmother was the instigator.
Yeah.
My grandmother was a medium for 50-odd years. And as a child, I didn't know, until she told me. And she told, and my mum allowed me to know that mum was a medium, a working medium. But in those days, my grandma didn't work as a medium like I do, because it just wasn't unknown.
Yeah.
My grandma was known as what we call a parlour medium.
Right, okay.
In those days, because Gran lived in an old Victorian house, Gran used to invite people round, only in the daytime, not in the evening, and certain times in the afternoon, and she would bring them into the home, sit them into the front lines of the parlour, as they call it, and us people who were the family lived in the back, and Gran used to conduct their business, their work, doing private readings for those people. And so she was known as a parlour medium. And in those days, that's what mediums did.
Yeah.
Now, as we came forward, things changed, and mediums have become more, what's the word? Came out of the closet, and it was recognised by the media and stuff like that. And, then become onto television, before that, radio.
Right, okay.
Because mediums were recognised on radio before television.
But you didn't look at mediumship at first, though, did you? You wanted to be a footballer.
Yeah, I didn't want to be a medium.
No.
Well, my grandmother said to me that I had these gifts. I said, what gifts? I mean, what are you talking about, gifts? If you talked to me like as a child about gifts, I thought she was saying, someone's going to give something to me. You know? And I said, what gift am I? What? No, gifts inside, son. Inside where, Gran? Inside you.
Yeah.
And it took a while. It took quite a while for me to conceive it, understand it, and what have you. But when it did, I did realise that Gran, was, I always knew she'd never tell me lies or fibs. She's my Gran.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It took a while.
Okay, and as I say, you wanted to be a footballer, but that didn't come about. But I believe you found success in South Australia for Vertis, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah?
South Australia. Yeah, I played football. I was doing very well. I was named Player of the Year in my first season out there. Named Player of the Season in the second year. And I was doing very well. And the club actually said, because of my age, we'd like to put you into a coaching scenario.
Yeah.
And I started doing my coaching, which was fabulous. It was fun. I was never, in my mind, going to come back from Australia.
Right, okay.
I had a wife, a son.
Yeah.
Our lives were very lovely. It was a fantastic life.
Yeah.
We lived by the coast in South Australia, by the ocean. It was just absolutely gorgeous. Mm. But, things change, don't they?
Well, this is it, yeah. Your life gets led a different path. And yours, basically, back in 1996, it ended up on satellite TV, Granada Breeze. Wasn't that with Becky Want?
Yes, it was, with the lovely Becky Want.
That was the first time I saw you.
Yeah, Becky Want was one of the nicest souls I've ever worked with in radio, television, any of the media. Mm. She was just a really lovely girl.
Yeah.
She was down to earth. She was like, I got on well with her because both of us were down to earth. And she wasn't like, hey, television babe, if you like, with ego. She was a television girl, but she didn't have ego. And she was just, oh God, even to this day, she's the most beautiful person I've ever worked with.
Right, okay. Now, how did it feel about being the first medium in the UK to demonstrate live on air?
It was fantastic. There's Becky once again. She said to me, do you realise what you're doing? This was in the green room after our first show live. Do you realise what you've just done? And I said, no. She said, you've just gone live on British television, even though it's only like, a niche channel.
Yeah.
And it's only a small arm of Granada. There's going to be thousands and thousands of people who have been watching this.
Yes.
And you've done things. Look at all the calls, because they had a call centre, only one line. and the calls went crazy. So much so that Granada decided, okay, because there was that many they couldn't cope with, they put in 2 lines. And they then decided, even then it went crazy. Then that's when they changed the show from just a Friday evening to a Wednesday and a Friday.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. It was just like, oh, absolutely, I loved it.
Yeah. You did set the bar there for everybody else, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I think I did, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I've got a couple of questions in the chat room for you regarding Sam. Both of these, David Warnes and Brendan Moss has actually asked a similar question. When did the thing start with Sam? When did he first contact Sam? When did you
It was
first...
when I was a young man. I was
Yeah.
only a teenager.
Uh-huh.
What was I then? 9, 10. I happened to be at home. It was in my own home. And my dad, who was a seafarer, he was at home. Everything was there, honky-dory, my family, mum, dad. It was either a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
I was there. At that stage of time, there was just 3 of us, children. Colin, Barbara, and me. Mum and dad. And we were all sitting in the lounge. I think it was a Sunday, actually. But anyway, rather than a Saturday. And suddenly I heard this voice saying, Derek, can you hear me? I thought, oh. Now I'm sitting in the lounge with Mum and Dad.
Yeah.
And my brother and sister. Bloody. So I heard it again. I thought, right. And I couldn't do anything other than what I did. I left the lounge, right up to the toilet. Not my bedroom, not at first. The toilet. Sat on it, locked the door, and I said, who is this? And I heard him talk to me again. Then I got out of the toilet, into the bedroom, shaking, closing my bedroom door.
Yeah.
And I spoke again, and it was him. And he told me he was my guide. It was the time to speak to me, for me to understand what I was here for. And it's just like, it blew me away, actually.
Yeah, I can imagine. Brendan goes on to ask, does everybody have a guide? And if so, how does someone contact their spirit guide?
Everyone has a guide. That is the law, the spiritual law, from birth until death. Now,
Okay.
He's asking also, how can you make contact with? Now, the hardest thing for me to express to a person why they have not made the contact or the link with the guide like I do with Sam is because the reason is this, as it explained to me. When you're not going to work in the situation or like I do as a medium, the guys do not think it's necessary for them to become so prominent and forward like Sam is with me, unless you're actually working for Spirit that way. If you're living your life and you're meant to live your life a certain way, they're not going to interfere or give you, what's the word, a situation where you can go and talk about them and you spoke this last night, this, that, and the other, because it's not important enough.
No.
However, it doesn't mean to say that you can't make a link with your guide.
Yeah.
You can do that through just simple meditation.
Okay. Right, on the subject of Sam, this is a question that Andy wanted to put forward because he didn't think he'd be back in time for the show, but he is. He's just...
I'm here, Derek.
Yeah, he's there.
Hiya. Hiya.
He was wondering
Ask that
about...
question,
he was wondering about if anyone ever felt Sam while standing next to him or something, wasn't it, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, I'll put my questions in. mine's based on the fact I used to do some mediumship work myself, Derek. I used to work mainly with locations. I go on like ghost hunting and events, and I describe the place that I was in rather than people. And on one particular occasion, I've often had a sense of someone with me, but they don't say anything. They never speaks to me. But two people described essentially the same figure that they'd seen around me, and others had said they'd seen around me. And I was just wondering, has anybody else seen Sam? Actually said, this is what I think he looks like, and they've been accurate.
Absolutely. How many people? So many people. Up and down the country, and it's nearly 40 years now. Blinking heck, and getting on as a guy. So many people, not just mediums. So many people, or people who've got no inclination of the gifts and what have you, who said, we saw this man, we described him alongside me by, where I drink the water and so on. Oh, yes. So many, so many have seen this. And we captured that anyway on when I've got the camera on and the sounds, and we've got all that information here.
Right. Well, the follow-on question is, has anybody else communicated with him?
But Sam, yes, a couple of ladies. It's always been the ladies. I remember one night we were in, where was it now? It was in Highlands of Scotland. I think it probably was Edinburgh. And one lady came with her daughter, stayed behind, because I always stay behind. I'm sure you know this anyway, and do signings and photographs and, little gabs for everyone. And she said, I spoke to Sam. And I said, do you? When she described him, I thought, she's telling the truth. She's saying what she's saying. And he said, Derek is now, although he's seeing so bright and what have you, next couple of days, he's going to come down with a virus.
Oh.
So the old lady said to me, she was in her 80s. Very beautiful lady with her daughter, who's in the 50s. And she said, you've got to take care of yourself. Because Sam said, you're coming down with the virus. So she went into her bag and she gave me these Fisherman Friends passports.
Excellent.
Oh, I thought that was wonderful. I mean, that was like just the most majestic thing that you could ever, from another human being to another, pass over.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. One thing I wanted to just point out, if you don't mind, you're particularly well known for your involvement with the phenomena Most Haunted and dubbed Mr. Most Haunted back in the day. But just for our listeners, if you want to hear about those times, please refer to our earlier interview on YouTube recorded back in March 2013. If you want, because we're not going to talk about that tonight. But after Most Haunted Years, Derek, you went on to do other projects. Derek Acorah's Ghost Towns, for instance.
Yes, I loved it.
Plus, you travelled over the world.
Yes.
One place you went to was Egypt, where you gave us an insight into the mysteries surrounding the pharaohs. What was it about Egypt that made you want to go?
Well, I've been speaking to the heads of Living TV from day one when I first started doing Most Haunted. And they got me down to interview me. And they said, what is one of the 10 things that you want, or 12 things you want to do in your life on television, which most networks do, actually, in your life? And I wrote them all down from my home, brought them through to them. And Paranormal Egypt was number 2. And they said, why do you want to do this? And I said, because it would be fantastic for a medium of my standing, for any medium, to be able to, if we can connect with, not just spirit loved ones, but people from bygone past. And I said between 2,000 and 5,000 years. Yeah. And I remember the head of Living Tea, Richard Wolf, saying, oh my God, yes. Oh my God. And before I knew it, it was developed. And we went out for 8 weeks. And we did a whole series of 8 shows. It was one of the most stunning, the most amazing experiences of my life.
I bet it was.
We went out and we checked out, about Tutankhamun, the young man that we find out how he passed over. We went to through the Egyptian government, locked off doors at the Egyptian what do they call it in Cairo, the place where they got every mummified body of anything that's ever been in the history of Egypt, and it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable how many mummified bodies, but they didn't know who they were or where.
No.
And so, okay, I was allowed to go in a day and an evening, and when I was, it was unbelievable. They had the Egyptian army, the Egyptian police, the special forces, and they also had the local police with dogs. And when we went in the evening, about 9 o'clock at night, dark at night, till 6 in the morning, they wanted me to find the only woman.
Yeah.
They didn't know whether she was in there. The only woman that become a pharaoh. Who, in other words, copied the male, just become the pharaoh. And it was unbelievable. And we found her. Sam pointed me to her. We're talking about rooms. These rooms were something like, 40 foot high. And there was something like, these things that carried these mummified bodies. Something up like 50 at a time. Mm. It was unbelievable. It was just, and I remember saying to Sam, I don't know what to do here. And he said, leave it to me. And he took me walking. And we went and we walked around it. And we came to this point that was very close to like a major door. And he said, she's there. And I said, where? So next to the bottom one. And I looked up and there was something like, 40-odd cases of these, coffins, if you like.
Yeah.
She's there. So when I said, now, at that time, we had 6 governmental from Egypt, top brass there. We had about 3 or 4 Egyptian, what do they call them now? Like Dr. Hamas,
right,
who's the head of the people. Egyptian...
the archaeologist?
Yes. And they said, okay, so they had all kinds of workers coming in front of me. And this was about 4:30 in the morning. And they said, get them down now. Oh, shouting at people. Anyway, they got down to it. And they brought this, I call them sarcophaguses and whatever, they call them whatever they call them.
Yeah, sarcophagus.
Next thing, they brought this case out. They opened it up. And there it was. This mummified body. You could see it was a woman.
Wow.
You could see it wasn't a man.
Yeah.
You just knew. So I got... Well, the head of Living TV said, get down, Derek, and touch. Because they believed in my, what I do.
Yeah.
And I touched. And the next thing I looked up and I seen the image of a young man. Then I saw this other man. And I started talking about she was she lost this child of a certain age. And you heard all these people from the Egyptian association saying, oh my God, he's talking. And so I solved something for Egypt.
Wow.
And they all come round me, all of them, all these people from the government, and they were singing, holding hands, and just circled around me singing, God, 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 God.
Wow.
It's the truth.
Yeah,
and within a month, I got my agent, I got one, my letter where I was saying, any time you want to come into Egypt, you got the keys of Egypt.
Brilliant.
You looked after our country, and you were so noble, and you were so lovely, and this and the other. So I'm very proud of that. That to me is like winning the, like these actors and stuff like that in America, what do they call it? I don't know what they call that. That's just, come on.
The Oscars?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my Oscar.
Yeah, I can imagine. So,
Two questions in the chat room.
So, was there something you wanted to say, Andy?
Yes, Derek, I was wondering if there's anywhere else in the world you'd like to go and do the similar kind of show.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. Andy, I'll tell you where we're going, and we're going to go. I'd love you to join me. Where I just booked, I saw something in the paper, in the weekend papers, and we've always wanted to go to Jordan and Petra.
Ah, yes.
Right, and we're going.
Excellent.
I've just booked it.
You
and
pay
this
it,
is not
welcome.
like for, it's not for the television.
No,
I
no.
love the television. I love us to come
Yeah.
out. But we're going there purely and simply through my, well, they're calling and saying, you must go here.
Yeah.
And so we're going. So there's no television cameras as such.
No.
There's no this, that, and the other. And Gwen and I, who's equally on the same sync as me, we're going to go. And she's so excited. And we're going there. And we're just going to experience the first time, the first thing. But we know we're being guided.
It's nice to do a private thing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We do it plenty of times, you know.
Yeah.
It's not always television.
No.
We've been to plenty of places in the world.
Brilliant.
We just wanted to go
Yeah.
and see and feel.
Yeah. Now, among your accolades, you were the only medium ever to address the famous Oxford Union with a séance. Can you tell us more about this?
About which?
The Oxford Union.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you're the
Well-
only one who ever went there.
Absolutely. And the only one ever invited. And they said they're not going to invite another one. Isn't that crazy? I
Get
must have been
in.
that terrible. I must have been that bad. No. Yeah, when my agent phoned me, he said to me, Derek Acorah, how on earth can you be invited by the Oxford Union to go and address students, tutors, and this, that, and the other on your way? And I said, I don't know. So he said, do you want to go? And I said, I got frightened. I said, no, I don't.
No.
I said, because these students who are very intelligent, very I know the type of people that I work for, and I said, they will tear me to bits. No matter how much proof I give them, they will rip me apart.
Yeah.
Anyway, he said, you know, Derek, I know you. I've known you for years, and you're up for the challenge, aren't you? And I said, well, not really. No. No, I don't. I'll do a pass on this. And he said, I think you're doing wrong. Anyway, he must have phoned Gwen.
Yeah.
And the next day, and Gwen came and said, are you sure you're going to put a pass on this? This is quite wonderful, you know. I said, why? For ego? For people to say, okay, Derek Acorah's on the halls of fame on the wall, because every time they do this, they put a photograph of you.
Yeah.
Because when we arrived there, when we eventually arrived, we saw all very, very famous people on the wall that had been interviewed. At what year? And I'm looking at Manson Mandela. I'm looking at the Queen. I'm looking at, in every category. I'm looking at Tom Jones. I'm looking at Frank Sinatra. I'm looking at this, that, and the other. I'm looking at all some of the most wonderful people that's ever been, trying to get people to enjoy the talents.
Mm.
But for little Derek Acorah.
It must make you feel proud.
Yeah. It doesn't fit. I thought, no. Anyway, I'm down there with a big delegation. I've never had this before.
Yeah.
From my agency. There was about 6 different people, apart from my wife, Gran. She said, we come from the hotel, she said, as we're travelling over, aren't you proud? I said, I'm so proud, love you. I'm sorry. And I got choked up, And we went in and we were met with this very hard hi, Derek, how are you? Hi, Gwen. Hi, to our agent and this. Everything's going to be fine tonight. We've got a full house. And I went, oh, my God. We didn't know what a full house meant.
No.
Anyway, we went into the main arena, if you like.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was the place where they all met in the ground floor. Then you had the second floor. Then you had the third floor. Then you had the fourth floor. All students.
Wow.
And what have you. I think there was something like 1,600 people.
Wow. Good on you, boy.
And I was brought on by the head of the Students' Union. And he said he was ready to retire, and he couldn't wait to retire, but he needs to get Derek Acorah on first. The first medium in the world.
Yeah.
Didn't want anyone else. Didn't want Sally Morgan.
No.
Didn't want Colin Fry. Didn't want this person. They wanted Derek Acorah.
Yeah.
And he said, the reason why we want Derek Acorah is because half the students didn't believe in me.
Yeah.
Another half did.
Yeah.
So let's get him and try him and check him out, the real McCoy.
Okay.
And it is a demonstration then. And only 1 hour, and the first two said, don't know what you're talking about, don't understand, and what have you. And I thought, oh, I'm getting killed here.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I went to a tutor who was in the audience. And I told about his mum and his dad and his young son, who just recently passed. He stood up and he said, oh, my God, every one of you, my students, know this. I've told you about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. This man's telling the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
From that moment on in, it was like heaven. At the end of that hour, every student in that place, every tutor wouldn't let me go home or let me go to my hotel.
Yeah.
Ask me questions. So it was a wonderful experience.
Brilliant.
And I'm on the walls of the great fame of Oxford University.
Good on you. Right, when it comes to your tours, how do you prepare before you go on stage?
Quite simply, I go into a quietude. I have no one come into my dressing room for an hour before the show. And I sit and I meditate.
Okay.
I go into a quietude of meditation, and I ask the spirit world to come very close. Allow the loved ones to come close to me and not let anything interfere with that.
No.
And just keep me focused on that until the time I finish the show.
Okay. What has been the most bizarre thing asked by an audience member?
The most bizarre?
Bizarre.
It was in... yes. I'll never forget this. It was in Norway. And a lady said to me, you're talking about my mummy? And I said, yes. And you're very correct. Her personality, this, that, and the other, and what's happened in my life. But mummy left for America and left daddy. What did she do in those other years? And then I asked the mummy, and she said, I only had 7 years. Then when I passed away. She said, but I had the ball. I did all the things I wanted to do whilst in marriage with her dad, even though I was elderly. And I said, what does that entail? What do you mean? She said, I went out dancing, whereas before I never danced. I went out and had drinks, whereas before I never drank a drink of alcohol. The only thing I didn't do was smoke because I just didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And she said, I even tried a one-night stand at 74 years of age. That's the God's truth.
I don't know. So, do you prefer doing the tours than the TV work? Is it easier for you?
Yes, I do. Always have. Because I was doing it for all those years before television or radio.
Yeah.
That's my, it's not my forte. It's my, realised a lot of years ago, it's what I'm meant to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I assume
You know.
I assume when you're on stage, it's like a waiting room, and they all stand in line to talk to their loved ones. Can you explain the procedure and how it makes you feel at the time? Because the reason why I ask this is because I'm not a medium in no way, shape, or form, but I do tarot readings, and sometimes I do get messages, and it makes me tearful at times.
I get so excited from one evening to the next.
Do you?
Because there's never one evening the same as the cell. I always say that to the audience.
Yeah.
In all these years, never one evening is the same as another. And you never know what the spirit people are going to say, because they're all individuals. And I do get excited, especially when I first see them, and they start speaking to me. I'm in a zone, in a place that is untouchable. I feel as if, like, well, I don't know, it's like I'm in a heavenly state.
Yeah.
Because no one can touch me. It's only when I come down and I finish the show, back to the reality, that I have to go back off to a hotel or go home, and it's like,
Yeah. I don't know why I just get a bit tearful. I don't know whether it's because of the atmosphere around me. But...
Oh, no, I get tearful.
Yeah.
Honestly, after all these years, I get tearful. If something's hitting my solar plexus, it hurt. You know, like two sons. Listen to this.
Yeah.
Just recently, last month, before I had a little break, a mum and a dad in the audience with a brother and sister are listening to me bringing through two brothers, two of their sons that died in a terrible, tragic accident.
Oh.
Mum and Dad weren't there with them, nor the brother and sister, because their aunt was driving them. And they went into this ravine. And although the aunt survived, the two boys drowned.
Yeah.
But then to come through and say to Mum, "We're fine, Mum. We're great in this, that and the other," and start talking about Grandma, who's looking after them now, and Granddad, and this, that and the other, it blew these people away.
Oh.
They've never been to an evening with either me or anyone else before. I cried my eyes out.
I bet you did.
I'm delivering it. I'm crying my eyes. And I went down. I come off the stage and went to them and hugged them. All four of them.
So.
My work is real.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what these ignorant people who are negative thinking, what have you, say about my work. My work is real. I work for spirit.
Yeah. When it
and
comes,
if that other word is God, I work for God.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to your showmanship, I've heard a lot of people say to me, and I defend you to the hilt, to be honest with you, but I hear a lot of people saying, he's too flamboyant, he's too over the top. And I say, well, in my opinion, perhaps you can explain it a bit better, but in my opinion, if you're talking to one person, giving them a message, the others are going to get bored if you don't bring them into the fold. Explain yourself why you do that.
Look, flamboyant. I've never, you wouldn't believe it. My gran was sitting here alongside me, and my mum was sitting the other side.
Yeah.
They would, if I passed the phone over to you, okay, about me as a youngster, they say he's the most quiet, non-interesting sort of young boy.
Yeah.
He's not like Colin, or he's not like Barbara, with a rather, flamboyant. And Derek was the quiet one.
Yeah.
Now, for the quiet one to be taken and to be changed by spirit into my later life, well, it just shows you the change.
Precisely.
So everyone in my family knew me as a young boy growing up. They knew I didn't have this way about me.
No.
That they've seen later on in life and gone, oh my God, Derek, how's Derek doing this, which proves again is that, okay, I've been, let's say, because I'm meant to do what I do, I've had to change, not a personality, but I've had to change in the way that spirit wants me to change. Now, when I first started doing theatres, everyone feared television, radio, that I wouldn't get anyone in because they could see Derek Acorah, the medium on Most Haunted, Derek Acorah, the medium for that, on Granada, and this, that. But the industry were not ready for it. But then we started getting big crowds of people, like for all the top singers, your Tom Joneses, all the big names and comedians and singers, and they couldn't believe it.
Right.
And, we used to fill out 3,500 seaters, 4,000 seaters, and what have you. And I used to say to Gwen, how's this happening? How's it happening? She said, because it's meant to happen.
Okay.
It's meant to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, we went out to Boston. Someone in America, North America, they made a phone call. He was a multi-millionaire, billionaire, and he said, I come over, I was in England with my ancestors, and we come to see you in a place called Lewisham in England. And I said, yeah. And he said, I thought you were awesome, and I want to book you for a big show in Boston, where I live.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. I said, just make contact with my agents. I said, I don't deal with these things. Anyway, it was arranged, and we flew out. He said, God, Graham was made up. He sent us out on first class on British Airways, and we flew out to Boston. Fabulous big hotel, and this, that, and the other. They drove us in Cadillacs from one place to another to show us. And we did the show that night, and we had 2 days in Boston on them. And I got nearly 9,000 people was in this big place that they beat me.
Yeah.
And that evening, it was unbelievable, because they had, like in Most Haunted Lives, they had all kinds of security people, all ex-SAS and all this. Now they had the same in Boston, but these guys had guns. And they said, after the show, Mr. Acorah, you're going to be inundated. They're just going to go crazy.
Yeah.
We did the show. It was a particularly good night. And they ran me. I mean, literally ran me. 2 security men, arm in arm, ran me through 3 sets of doors to get to the end of the corridor. And even that didn't stop them. They went absolutely crazy. Before I knew it, I had something like 2,000, 3,000 people around me in this like big, massive foyer.
Yeah. All
screaming, asking questions, doing this, doing that. And I didn't really. So, incidentally, I'm going out to do a massive tour of America from August.
Okay. John Cena's in the chat room, and he would like to know if there was one famous person in spirit you could talk to, who would it be and what would you ask them? Well,
this person, without doubt, it would have been before she passed. It would have been definitely Mother Teresa. But since she's passed, it most definitely will be Diana.
Diana, bless her. Yeah. Okay.
Without doubt.
Right.
Because I've got my own understanding of what happened with that lady.
Yeah.
And I'd like the world to know it.
Right. Okay.
Not that I want to upset the heir to the throne or anyone else in the family.
Yeah.
But I would love to be given the opportunity, because I know Diana would link with me. I know that.
Right. Brendan Moss would like to ask you, a bit off topic, but do you think UFOs are paranormal or ETs?
Say that again, please.
Brendan says, do you believe or do you think that UFOs are paranormal or just ETs?
Yeah. Well, they're certainly not. I'll tell you that now, Brendan, okay? It's certainly not paranormal.
Okay.
ETs are a strategy of life that's been concerned around this planet for how long, who knows, and other planets. There's that many planets in the world, in the atmosphere. I don't like saying galaxy, I don't like saying universe, because there's that many of them.
Yeah.
But yes, to me, okay, even though I believe in God,
yes,
and I believe in the experience of what we go through, is that we are part and parcel of certain aspects of certain galaxies, certain planets, for us to arrive at being human beings above the animal kingdom, yes.
Right, okay. The other question I want to ask you is, I've heard you mention about the sleep state before.
Sleep state, yeah.
Sleep state. So what is this, and is it connected to reincarnation?
Well, sleep state is a thing that every one of us have to go through, like my mum did, my dad, my Gwen's mum and dad, and whatever, and anyone else, is because of the hurts of the physical body. When the spirit leaves the physical body, it still retains certain hurts. When we go over there, we meet our family, big family reunion, fabulous. It builds up and goes, oh, yeah, we're excited and back with family again. Then we're told we have to go through a sleep state and restoration. Not unlike when you go into hospital, where they put you on this, they put you on to make you feel nice, better. Get this again. A spiritual sleep state.
Right. Okay.
It doesn't take that long.
No.
When we come out of it, we've lost all our hurt. All we're thinking about is the loved ones we've left behind. We're feeling on top of the world. We're feeling invigorated. We're feeling younger. We're feeling absolutely fabulous.
Right. Okay, I look forward to that.
Well, everyone should.
Yes.
Everyone should, because, you know, when we leave here, it's not the end. It's a further existence. It's an extension of who we are. And we go and enjoy it in a greater span of things. Can you imagine, can all the listeners imagine this, where the way we live in a materialistic world, where we need money, we worry about that. We need to eat, we worry about that.
Yeah.
We need to earn money to, you know, look after ourselves, just basic things.
Yeah.
We need to do this, we need to do that. When we bring children on the earth, we need to look after them. All these material things are gone. So what are we left with worry? Zilch, nothing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how we'd feel with all that?
Oh, I know how I'd feel. Relieved.
Come on, here we go.
Yep. Yep, I would definitely feel relieved. Okay, well, back in later part of last year, you launched a new television show called The Past Hunters.
Yes.
What made you take up another ghost hunting show?
Well, I was cajoled into it.
Right.
Because after my last experience with Most Haunted,
Yeah.
which turned very sour,
Yeah.
which wasn't my doing.
No.
It was through jealousy.
Okay.
Over I'd become too popular as a medium on that sort of program for the people who caused the program, who thought they were going to be the bee's knees or the, what's the word, big stars of the show. And once they realised that was going to be them, then it was turned around and have a go at Derek Acorah. Okay, that's all gone now.
That's all gone now.
Doesn't matter. But what caused me to start and do, Past Hunters? Past Hunters wasn't a particularly professional sort of show, 12 shows. However, I worked with very genuine, honest people.
Yeah.
And I tried to explain to them how we should go about this. And anyway, it went very well. In actual fact, as amateurish as what it may have come across, it come number one on the new television show, a couple of shows, and it never went below 3 or 4.
No.
In which case, they've now commissioned the second series.
Right, that was a question from John Cena. He was wondering whether there was any more Past Hunters. So there is going to be another one.
We did 12. Now they've asked us to do 20.
Okay. Well, that's good then. So you enjoy doing it then?
Oh, absolutely. And not only that, there's an American organisation or group or company and what have you that have loved it that much that they've asked past hunters to go onto their 7th series show just as like, a one-off. And we've agreed to it. And the contracts have been signed. So in August we're going out to do a one-off with this group of people who've got 7 series with American television.
Brilliant. See, everything's going well for you then?
Absolutely. What can I say? The only bad thing that's happened this year
was
Colin. When we had to say au revoir to our Jack, our dog.
Oh, right, yeah. I thought you was going to say Colin, sorry.
No, Colin's bad enough.
Yeah.
But Jack before Colin.
Right.
One after the other.
Yeah.
Jack was our beautiful poodle, big fella, standard poodle, who just suddenly fell asleep one night on the settee. We came down and he was asleep.
Oh, bless him.
And then 2 weeks later, my mate, my good friend, very good friend, Colin, passed away with this cancer.
Yeah.
But you see, my strong memories of my very good friend physically were I worked with Colin in a joint show at the Benidorm Palace in Spain at Christmas time. And what a wonderful evening we had together.
Yeah, he fought, didn't he, really?
Yeah, and he felt sick that night. That was when it started.
Right.
And he came back to England. Within 2 days, he'd been diagnosed with this cancer of the lung, which was too far gone. And he phoned me up and he said, Derek, he used to call me Degs. Degs. He said, what do you think? And I said, well, he said, I've got cancer. Oh, no, Colin. He said, yeah. He said, doctor said, don't quit smoking. You're done in.
Yeah.
And I said, well, Carl, I don't know what to say. And he said, well, you're not saying anything. All you've got to say is, what I'm going to say, I've thoroughly enjoyed working with you for the last 16 years. Because we used to do shows together, you see.
Okay.
And I said, Colin, I don't know what to say.
No.
You don't have to say nothing, he said.
No.
You're my buddy. You're my mate. And you'll always be my mate. And I'll always watch over you when I go over.
Okay.
Which he does.
Good. I'd like to pass on a message to you from Felix Garnett, who's in the chat room. And she said, can you please tell Derek that I think he's great?
Ah, very lovely.
Okay. Now, your last question for this evening, Derek. There's something afterwards, sorry. In our last interview, you mentioned about a book coming up.
Yes.
Is there any more news on this? And if
it is.
And
Go on, carry on. Go on.
And what can we expect from you in the future?
Okay. Well, there is. It's taken a long time. HarperCollins are, the people who publish, have been on at me for the last 4 years.
Right.
And because I'm not literary talent, this is for the whole world to know this. Even though I've got all the contents in my mind, I'm absolutely crap and rubbish at literary words. So I've always relied on my lovely wife, Gwen. Gwen is the writer. She's the person that writes because she's got literary talent. And I don't mind saying that.
Yeah.
HarperCollins don't want me to say it. So I've been at Gwen, and Gwen said she's been too busy because she works all behind the scenes for me, doing everything.
She's your right arm, isn't she?
Your what? I don't know where. I wouldn't be here on the air without her.
No.
But anyway.
Okay.
We got 2/3 through the book. It's going to be finished by the summertime.
Right.
Come September, it's going to come out. The greatest autobiography of the truth that a medium can ever speak about of our experiences through all these 40-odd years.
I'm looking forward to it.
And the truth, more importantly. for the 10 years of hate I've had through those despicable people.
I'm looking forward to it, Derek.
Terrible things about me. We're given the truth through not just me speaking, but, people, very important people who were in very important positions at the time that those lines were said about me have stepped forward and given their word and photographs of them.
We're going to have to stop you there, Derek, as Gwen will be having a go at me.
Okay.
I don't want to edit the show again.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's been wonderful speaking to you.
One thing before you go. Steve, did you want to say something?
I'm not a medium, Derek, and I don't profess to be so, but occasionally I get stuff being told to me.
I can't hear him.
I should come round over to Sue's microphone. Okay, so can you hear me now, Derek?
Yes, that's better.
Okay, brilliant. I'm not a medium, and I don't profess to be, but I do sometimes get told stuff.
Yes.
And like the lady you mentioned earlier that said that about health,
Yes.
I'm being warned about health around you.
Go on, you tell me about that. Go on.
Yes, I've been thinking there in the show, and I'm not sure whether I've got this right, because I seem to remember that you have been ill of late, but I think it's around you rather than you yourself.
I know that.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're right.
Just to make you aware of that.
Yes, thank you so much. I am aware of it. It's not become totally apparent, but I do know of it, yes. And very good. Your sensitivity is telling you the truth.
Okay. Felix just wants me to tell you a little story, if you don't mind.
Go on.
If you can help. She said, I recently met my mum and dad, both deceased, in a dream. A few weeks after my brother died last Christmas. Mum and Dad seemed well, and they showed me a room where my brother was asleep, and I sat with him for a while. Unfortunately, I got quite cross and asked my parents why they had put me through so much grief with their funerals and so on, when they clearly are not dead. They were a bit amused, but reassured me they will be fine. She's asked me to mention that to you. She'd need a bit of advice on that, if you can.
Well, look, tell her not to take it too seriously.
Okay.
In the sense of the way it was she experienced.
Right.
What Mum and Dad's trying to say is everything's fine. Everything's fine. We use that word, look, I'm not worried, I'm not bothered, I'm fine and stuff. That's the way she'd look at this. Because, look, they're living in a new dimension, a new realm, a new atmosphere. And because it's so nice and good, far greater than here, it's no wonder they don't worry about things. It's only back here we have to, look, they've released all those things I talked about before, materialism. They've released all the things about health. They've released all the things about family problems. They've released all the things about litigation, about neighbours arguing. They haven't got that anymore. So no wonder it's a heaven. So tell your good lady, okay, the person who said this, that when we go from here, it's a different ball game.
Okay. John just wants to quickly say he would love to see you team up with the Haunted Collector. That's like John Safris, is it, in America?
Yeah.
He said that would be brilliant.
Well, I'm going out there. And you know what? I can't wait to do it because, naturally, years ago, I went to California, L.A. and stuff, and did live shows and theatres.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of television and what have you. Before you, John Edwards, and before all these other things, other people out there. But this time, it seems so concrete that the northeast of America, New York, Chicago, I'm going to do all those things, and I'm doing a television program and what have you. And at last, and Sam confirmed it. Sam said to me, we're now on Sunday. On Thursday, he said, now is your last time to work for Spirit this next 4 years. and then we'll allow you to rest and retire.
Can you just quickly say hello to Vicky, please, one of your biggest fans?
You see, hiya, Vicky. Thank you for being a big fan. I love you. I may not have seen you, but thank you so much from my heart and my mind. Keep being a big fan, Vicky. Big fan of Spirit.
Okay. Well, thank you, Derek. It's been brilliant having you on the show again. It's lovely talking to you, and I'll have to get to see you again. Last time we saw you was in Liverpool, but yeah, it would be great to see you again on a one-to-one basis. I don't mean reading. I mean
Yes.
friendly basis.
Absolutely.
And Gwen. So give our love to Gwen, and you take care. And I wish you everything. All the best to you both.
Will you tell everyone, or they're listening? Tell them, let them hear this. I'm going to have 11 years peace when the truth of my autobiography comes out about the people that have hurt, the only people in my life that have hurt wanted to stop me working for Spirit, and Spirit now have got the chance to get back at them.
Well, I'd like a signed copy then, Derek.
Yeah.
You'll have one.
Can we get him to confirm that it sounds like he's retiring in 4 years?
Can we just confirm that you're not retiring, are you?
Well, it's been talked about and what have you, and I've come to terms with, there's only 3 people involved here. One, firstly, is my wife, my lovely, and the other is Stan. And I got to such a low ebb the beginning of last year, and I said, I'm now going to retire. And since then, I've never had anything come into my home as much as the Spirit people. Sam, my mum, my dad, my mum-in-law, father-in-law, they're all saying to me, you have got to work on. So I'm not retiring yet.
Okay, my love. Well, you take care, and I look forward to your book. I'd love a signed copy.
I'll send one to you, lovey.
Oh, that would be great. I'll speak to you soon.
Okay. Lovely to speak to you all, okay?
Take care. Bye.
Thank you, Derek.
Bye-bye.
Night, Derek.
Bye.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us in the chat room and for your questions this evening. We hope you'll have plenty for us next week as well. And until next time, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from her.
And it's good night from me.
Okay. And we'll see you next week. So until next time, all that's left to say is keep the paranormal friendly. Good night and God bless.
This is where it's at.
Hello, Harry Price here. Good evening. If there's nothing myself and everybody else enjoy here on the other side more is the sit back and relax and listen to Parasearch Radio with its paranormal news, views and reviews from across the UK and beyond. Make sure to find out more about them on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web, whatever they are, to keep up to date with all their broadcasts throughout the week. And I hope you enjoy them as much as we do over here. Hello? Is anybody there?